Hey guys, wanted to do a quick video. You might be new Oculus owners. I want to kind of give you an introduction to how it works, which is much faster than reading the manual and things like that. Your power button is here. If you press and hold it, you'll hear a little do-do-do sound when it pops up. And then when you, it'll go through the boot up screen, and we'll go through that in just a second. And then if you hold it again and press it and hold it for like 4 to 5 seconds, it will power down automatically. Your volume button is here, so you can always end the game, like grab that. And then also, if you need to see what's around you, you can tap the side of the Oculus and that should bring up what's local to you. So we'll talk about the straps a little bit. There's two straps here, and there's a strap here. Right, you can adjust those to your head. I would suggest leaving this a little longer and coming down lower in your head if possible, because the lower it's on your head, the better it grabs, it seems. So loosen this one first, and then tighten these two, and then after you get those two tightened, you just tighten up on that strap, and you kind of get it centered to your good vision of, you'll see a certain clarity when you get to the headset in a certain position, and then you'll get the controllers in your hand. So there's the right controller, and each one of these buttons on here, there's the Oculus button here, and then there is the hamburger button over here. So this brings up the menu, and this brings up in-game menu. So you'll want to make sure to have the right controller in your right hand and the left controller in your right hand. So the first thing it's going to do is ask you about a Guardian. So let me cast to my Chromecast here so you can see what I'm doing. So I have a Chromecast on the same network, and I can see the list of all my Google devices here. And I just click on Chromecast, and you should be able to see what I'm seeing inside the game here. So this is the main menu down here, and this is how you're going to control. You'll see advertisements and different ideas up here. But mainly to access, to buy games, you buy them from here. Now you're going to have to download the Oculus app first, set up your credit card to buy apps and stuff. And there's a lot of stuff for free, a lot of demos, so I highly suggest getting demos first. And then to access an app, you just click on the apps button here. On the top right, you can organize these by the most recent, or A to Z. You can see what's installed or what's not installed. To access side quest items later on, so you're not going to do side quest right away. There's an item called Unknown Sources, and side quest is basically like a developer playground where they give away free information or free games and stuff, and this will show up under Unknown Sources. But for right now, we're going to go to Installed and click and hold the trigger to slide through this list. Right, so you're going to have some basic training. You want to do that to learn how to grab. You've got your side grips here, your trigger grips here, your A and B buttons, and your X and Y over here that are just certain games in function. Okay, click trigger. Most of the time what you're going to do is point at something and pull the trigger to activate that menu item. To scroll, you pull the trigger and hold, go up and down like that. To move inside games, sometimes it's using the thumbsticks. So I think it's the left thumbstick is a walking move, where the right thumbstick is a quick flip, turning right. Both of these can cause a little bit of dizziness if you're not careful and going too fast. So let's go back to the menu here. So you've got the left controller, and you can point and click on this and see how much power you have left in your controller. So knowing how to change these batteries, it's really not obvious at first, but you're going to see the shape of the outside here is smooth all the way around. And you put your thumb there and you pull that down, and there's a AA battery in there. Don't use rechargeable batteries because they are a different voltage than the ones that are in the controllers. Going back to the menu here, you'll see the headset is powered at 99%. You just point your cursor at that, and that'll show you how much power you have left. So one problem is after about 2 hours, you're going to lose power. You can take the power cord and plug it into a battery pack. You will need a nice size battery and an adapter to convert the USB-C that comes with the unit to a regular USB that fits into your battery pack, unless you get one with a C. All right. The store is where you buy things, so you just click on that, and that should bring up the store. You can see a store listed up here, top of the charts. This will show you some of the best games. I highly recommend Beat Saber. It's very popular with people. Super Hot is kind of like a shooter. Population 1 is good. It can be a little bit tough on the VR, so if you're doing virtual reality, I suggest you take it slow at first, because you can get really dizzy if you're just not used to it, and just do it a little bit at a time. Vader Immortal is like a little movie thing that you're in. It's about $9, I think. It comes in 3 different segments. It's pretty short, but if you got a family and sharing, it's kind of fun and definitely worth the $9 if other people are doing it too. Saints and Sinners is kind of like a zombie shooter type game. It's a little graphic, so if you like Walking Dead, you'll be perfectly fine here. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy is basically an extension of Vader Immortal into a more immersive environment. And Onward is like a military shooter type game. They often have daily deals, so they're usually pretty good prices, 25 to 30% off, and if you can wait for those, that's pretty good. YouTube VR is free and amazingly immersive. So there's all kinds of videos out there of people traveling, and you can search for surfing, anything like that, and like be inside a surfing environment. It's really cool. Rec Room is great for kids. Lots of fun stuff, paintball, all kinds of like games to play. It's completely free, and a little bit crazy in there with all the kids, everybody being trapped at home and stuff. Echo VR is also free. It is like a basketball game, excuse me, a basketball game using frisbees inside of a floating virtual arena. And so you'll use your thumbsticks to fly around. Super cool. And VR chat, it's just a place to meet and hang out with friends. There's all kinds of environments that people have built. First Steps is a good trainer for learning how to do things in VR, teach you how to grab things. Again, using your buttons here and your fists. So as you do things in games, you can kind of look at your hands and you can see that when you squeeze the trigger, it actually pulls your fingers together in the game. Then your index fingers will pop up and down from these triggers, and then other actions will come from the buttons and the use of the joysticks and things like that. Netflix is a pretty cool experience. It's like having a bigger than 90-inch screen, but after a couple hours you might lose your battery power, so you might want to stay plugged in if you want to try using Netflix. Epic roller coasters can be very dizzying, like the virtual reality experience can really like make some people sick. So if you start getting that feeling, just stop for a bit and go back later. It's pretty cool. So that's the store. And then once you get your applications installed, they will show up down here, and this is where you launch them from. So I clicked on the waffle, and it brings up this menu here. And there's all the games. So you can play all of those games. You just basically click on them. Most of them have tutorials. You can go to the people. And one thing that's nice about this is if you wanted to create a party, you can actually invite your friends that you know that have Oculus Quest. And you can say, I want to create a phone call, right? So it opens up a phone call, all your friends. You can either change this to friends of participants or by invite only. And if you want to invite somebody, you just click on Add Friends. And it'll show my friends, and I just pick who I want. Feel free to add me if you like. I am Superfungi, F-U-N-G-I. And you can also select an app if you want. You don't have to. You can do any game with this and have like fun together playing games. You don't have to be synchronized and stuff. Some games have multiplayer built in, so you don't have to use this in order to do it. We'll just hang that up. And make sure that when you're done with the call to hang up, you can go back and play games and keep the call open. Just remember that everybody can hear everything that you're saying while you're doing whatever, right? Let's see, so that's the people icon. You can add friends by their ID. You can connect your Facebook and look people up by Facebook IDs. Here's your status or notifications. So as people pass you in certain levels, if you want to do leaderboard type stuff where I'm the best at a certain game, your friends can kind of challenge you and say, hey, I beat your achievement yesterday, or I passed you in such and such. You can share. So this is what we're doing now is casting. You can go live on Facebook. You can take a photo and record a video, and if you ever see that red dot that's in the center of the screen, I'm not sure if it's showing up by the TV or not, it is not. there's a red dot in the center of the screen that shows that you're casting to something. So if you accidentally turn on Facebook casting and you've got a red dot on your screen, you could be broadcasting your game to the internet, not meaning to, but it can happen. All right. Sharing, you could take pictures, and then in game you can press buttons and like look at pictures, like save pictures of games. Pretty boring. And here's your settings. So the thing I wanted to go over mainly is you're going to connect to your Google or your Wi-Fi, I'm sorry, but your Guardian. So there's two types of Guardians. One is called a stationary Guardian, which is like a little circle around you. This is for a game where you're not moving so much, and a room scale. So room scale gives you more space. It's the more space you have, the better. But the first thing you'll notice is that it asks you about this floor level of your game. So you're going to see these blue triangles, and they're going to drop to the floor. If they don't, you just put your controller on the floor, and it'll realize that's the lowest possible level in the room. You click confirm, and then the next thing you're going to do is either define a play area. So you're going to take your little cursor, pull the trigger here, your trigger finger, and pull it, and you're going to draw a circle around you as big as possible without running into furniture. If that's not possible, where you don't have that much room and you're just going to stick to your seat, I have a little bar stool here, which is really good because you can sit or you can stand and you can kind of change position. So if you're in a game where you need to stand, you can sit on this for a while and then jump up and do your thing, like Beat Saber or something like that, and then come back to that. So I'm going to do stationary boundary, which will draw a circle immediately around me. You'll look at this circle around here and you'll know that this is your play area. If you define a bigger play area, that will show up on the floor. And that's pretty much it. Now, the two, again, most important things to know is when you're in a game, you can always press the O button on the right-hand flat controller here, and that will bring up this menu that will switch from the game back to this. If you're inside a game and can't figure out how to do something, or you're trying to quit the game, you can always press this button to see if a menu option pops up. Probably 80% of the games, the menu option will pop up through this option. If you can't, you can always press this, go back to the main menu, and you will see this menu bar pop up. Try one more time. I don't know why I'm not saying I quit. Oh, I guess I'm not in a program. But you can.
Okay, closing.
I wasn't in a program, that's why it didn't show the quit option or the switch back to the game option. So there's going to be two options, either quit or resume game, and then down here where it says settings, instead of seeing the game or this icon, you'll actually see an icon of the game. You just click on that and that takes you back to the game. Another cool thing you could do is if you forget what time it is and you're inside of a game and you're like, what time is it? You can always press this twice, and a little voice command comes up and you can say, what time is it? And she will tell you what time it is. So I haven't explored some of the advanced features, but sometimes I've been stuck inside of a game and I couldn't figure out how to quit. So I pressed it twice, the voice thing came up and I said, close the game, and it closed it for me. I'm sure there's a lot more cool things you could do, like almost Alexa type thing built in. This whole thing is built on an Android interface, so seems like it's going to be very well supported. The resolution is really cool. If you've got one Oculus Quest, one game I recommend, if you've got a bigger family, is Akron, Attack of the Squirrels. And what's great about this game is that you've got one player on the Oculus Quest, and everybody with their phones plays as squirrels. So the person with the Quest plays as the tree, and you basically are a big giant tree, as you can see here. You press start, right? So what I did is I squeezed this to make a pointy finger, and then I press the start button. And you can say create game, right? So the room code is up here, and the people will download the free app on their mobile phones. This game costs about $19, and you'll give them this code to join. So if you don't have friends, you can always add AI squirrels, which are basically a game. It's just not as much fun unless you're playing with family. So I wouldn't recommend this unless you at least have 4 people in your family interested in playing like this. But you can see, let's see, You might have to have one player to play, but I definitely wouldn't buy this to play solo. Again, going back to the Oculus button, I will press this once, go back to the menu, you'll see my icon here, or resume, and I can quit the game there. I highly recommend trying out Echo VR. It's free. Just be careful where you're sitting, or if you're moving around, you will have the feeling of actually moving your feet, and you will start moving around the room and bumping into stuff and swinging your arms and crashing into furniture. And then another good reason for me to have this bar stool is because I can always kind of keep my back of my legs up against it, kind of keep my orientation if I need to, and I can move around, and I can always put my foot back to kind of feel it. Some people use like rugs underneath their feet, but there have been people that have put their fists through TVs and knocked stuff over, hurt their hands, hit ceiling fans. Just be aware that when you're inside of the game, you have no idea, like 90%, like sure you're in the environment that you're in, you have no idea you're in your living room. So it's been amazing to play and enjoy. I've had a lot of fun with it, especially with COVID, the isolation and thing. It kind of brings people together. There's all kinds of exercise apps. I'm hoping to do more videos. So if you have any recommendations as far as what you want to see, I'd be more than happy to put those together. And tell me what you want to see. So thanks for watching, and take care. Bye.